Ladies and gents, Six Figs here from YouTube. We are going to be covering the one and only Nervous Network CKB at a super high level, possibly at a higher level than anyone else could possibly cover it at. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at in the world. I made this crazy prediction on CKB price action 11 days ago, and it just like nailed spot on. So we'll check that out. But first, let's get into the news. Nervous Network drops an absolute banger. Join us in celebrating CKB crossing 9 million blocks mined. Folks, this tweet is near and dear to my heart. I have been mining CKB via ASIC miners since September of 2021, and I have never shut these things off once intentionally, except for when I had to clean them with some duster. So I think I lost power to the house once during a storm. There's been like 2 or 3 times they've been shut off. That's it. But man, we are mining at a super high level over here on this channel. But let's get back into the article. The next chapter in the network's journey is an exciting one. As governance processes ramp up, we're eager to talk about possibilities realized. Get involved. And now, what are they talking about here, folks? They are talking about the CKB Community Fund DAO, which is a community fund initiated by the Nervos community and jointly contributed by the community and the Nervos Foundation to fund community members to do various things around the CKB Layer 1 ecosystem. What this means is maybe you don't have quite the resources that you need to pull together financing, whatever, on a project that you want to build on Nervos. Well, what's going to happen is you can go to the DAO, they'll vote, and maybe they'll help you out. So I like these community fund initiatives, things like that. Nervos also dropped a banger of a tweet here. Again, it's been a fire week for news around Nervos Network. I'm just saying. I've been digging it. In 2022, development began open transactions, which allow multiple parties to coordinate and trustlessly build on a single on-chain transaction. They enable magic like token swaps without intermediaries and dexes without smart contracts. I think this is so cool, but I think this is out of my technical realm to be able to explain this efficiently to you. So I think what I'm going to do is ask someone from Nervos to come on the channel, and perhaps they can explain this at a super high level. I think we all get what they're trying to say here, but the mechanics of what make this possible, things like that, is something that I'm not good at explaining. Here we go. CK Bull. This first quarter, we will be releasing version 2.0 of CK Bull app. This version comes with all previous bugs fixed, a complete integration, visibility of Nervos Network Layer 1 CKB NFTs, and a fresh new user interface. Folks, this is something to be excited about. CK Bull has been a pretty dominant wallet in the last few months since it came on the scene. So I'm excited to see this new user interface that they have. Now, personally, I keep all my CKB locked up in the DAO, so I'm really not using these wallets very much, but CK Bull is one that I am definitely using. I thought we would expand on this just a second here. Nervos Network. On Nervos Network's Layer 1 blockchain, deploying a smart contract requires CKB proportional to the size of the contract. 1 CKB equals 1 byte, right? So this ensures that on-chain state is used wisely. When the contract is no longer needed, those CKB can be returned to the owner. Now, this is the one thing, folks, that I love about CKB and what Nervos Network has done here. Is you are basically just using CKB to rent space for smart contracts, things like that. Once you are done using and renting that space on the chain, guess what happens? You can get your CKB back. You basically liquidate it. Liquidate your contract or whatever you don't want to use anymore. So there is another thread here that kind of goes into this as well. All assets on Nervos require data storage, which means they are subject to state rent. You know what? I'll drop a link to this in the description. Before we get into the technical analysis, things like that, we're going to give a huge shout out to @NervosNation. And I do think that you guys should check them out on Telegram. And this community is very well knit. And they really do have a lot of answers to many questions that new people might be asking when they come on the scene looking to explore Nervos Network. So you guys, I'll drop a link to Nervos Nation in the description and the pinned comment as well. Now let's look at the crypto markets, the price action right now. I'm seeing CKB kind of juggling around here. You know, it says minus 2.6%, but we're pretty cool right now, right? Because in the last month, we're up 50%. That's awesome. And you don't hear about people saying, oh my God, this is up 50%, folks. I hope you guys packed your bags when we were at the bottom there forever. Let's look at this prediction that I went ahead here and made. And it might be kind of tough for you guys to see. So it is what it is. You'll have to check it on Twitter. Basically, price was down here. I was saying to everyone, I think we'll come up, see it hit the 161.8, drop down to this 127, and rally to the 200. And boom, price came up. It blew past the 161.8, but the majority of the pressure was at the 161.8. And then we saw it rally up to the 200. Now, what is going on right now with the price action of CKB? Right? This is what everybody wants to know. Because this thing has seen in the last month a 50% increase. And nobody's even talking about it. So this is very good. I think that we're doing awesome right now. And I do think that, folks, you know, we could be gearing up for a wild ride. Really, I do think this. And I'm not just saying that. We do have what I think, this is not financial or trading advice, but this is a completion of a very wicked ass corrective wave over a long period of time. And this is very textbook, folks. And I do think that, you know, consequently, by default, this thing really is creating an inverse head and shoulders. And why would I say that? Well, we got a clean neckline. That much is for sure. So I do think that the price of CKB is going to continue to flourish. I just do. And I do think that we are going to see CKB on the weekly, and we're going to really examine this on the daily and probably the 4-hour chart. Really, I think we're going to see this 50 moving average curl around. And I don't think that this is going to happen instantly. But I do think that come March, we're going to see CKB quite possibly attempt to make a pass through this Ichimoku cloud on the weekly chart. And once we get above this cloud, you can see what kind of magic happens. It's to the moon. Once we fall underneath the cloud, things are just bearish. So I do think that right now, a half cent is still on my radar. It's still on my radar, folks. And let's just go ahead and throw up this Fibonacci extension. And this would make perfect sense to me. If we pretend that this price action would push this 50 moving average up, it would really coincide quite nicely with this 786, which I think that we could expect price action to maybe kind of stall there and or blow past there and use this 50 moving average as support to break through this cloud. But at the end of the day, on the weekly, what I'm hoping for come spring, folks, this isn't going to happen overnight. This is the weekly chart. I'm hoping we see something like this occur, and I'm hoping we come back up and retest these all-time highs. You know, I've got an interesting philosophy here on the weekly chart as well. And it's not one that anybody wants to hear. Because we all want really super crazy gains right now, right? But let's just say this does happen. And let's just say we get some sort of crazy inverse head and shoulders like this, man. This would be insane to see CKB pull a move like this and start ripping. So a lot of people have been speculating that 2024 is going to be the year for CKB. It very well could be. That's my price speculation right now for the future. We've got a half of inverse head and shoulders. But let's look at this very closely on the daily chart, folks. What is going on here? What's going on? Well, on the daily chart, we are seeing a lot of pressure at this 200 moving average. So I am seeing really nothing to be concerned about. The price action on this daily is really looking nice. And I'm not really seeing any rising wedges here. I'm not seeing any of that, type of formation. But we are kind of seeing maybe somewhat of a flag here. And we've got a very erect bull flagpole that is happening. So with that said, I do suspect that, we may end up seeing, if price cannot break through this 200 moving average, which I suspect that it will. All right. So I think that we will see price break through this, but we could be seeing something over the next few days where we see price maybe kind of draw back to touch this 50 moving average to make its next move. And realistically, we've got a great Elliott wave theory move that could possibly be in the works for that to happen. But the reason I think that we could possibly be gearing up to see a little bit of a retracement in price is simply because we've got a very, I'm not going to say a nice doji star, because this is kind of bearish. So when you start to see spinning tops, doji stars, usually it's a good indication that price is getting ready to reverse. There's a spinning top, series of them here, more here. You guys can kind of catch the drift here. Spinning top, spinning top. Yeah, that's it. So for right now, where do I think this thing's going to go? Well, I do think that there has been this Elliott wave theory maybe move to the upside. And I think there needs to be an A